Hey everyone! Hey! 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 Hello everyone!
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the
Just on TikTok again.
As always.
Cheers.
Welcome to the White Hatter YouTube live show.
And everybody who's joining us in the chat. Hey, thanks for joining us early.
Hey! Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know. Quite a few people in there chatting with Candace already.
Yes.
Yeah. Good Christmas. Do you have a good Christmas? I had a great Christmas. Great Christmas, yeah.
Pretty good.
Great Christmas, yeah. Some cool things. We're going to talk about gifts a little bit later.
Yeah, today is a giveaway show. Thanks everyone for joining us.
This is our last of the decade, right? Our last presentation of the decade.
It's the last one.
Right, and the last one with the Christmas, because Candace has said that Christmas doesn't officially end until January 1st. Right?
Apparently.
So she just said that you can only pry it from my dead cold hands, is what she just said in my ear right now, and she's laughing at the same time as her Pokemon buzzes, right? Because you got her one of those, you got her an iPhone, or sorry, an Apple Watch,
yes,
an Apple Watch 5. So she has that on her left wrist.
Yeah.
Right? And then on her right wrist, what did she get?
Pokemon Go Plus.
Plus, and it's like on a wristband, right? Yeah. So she has it, and how old is she?
28.
She's like
almost
30,
28.
Right?
Almost 28.
Oh, 28, yeah. And she, anyways, so she's in the background. Every so often we'll be talking, we'll hear, it's like, oh my God.
Means there's Pokemon around.
It sounds like the old, remember the old phones, the flip phone, the Razor, remember those Razors? And they,
I mean, those
I know, and like, oh my God. Anyways, back on topic.
Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for those who are joining us in the chat.
Gotta fix my scarf here. Gotta fix my scarf. Gotta look symmetrical. That one looks good. Okay, hold on. There we go. Now we look. What do you think, Candace? Does that look pretty good? That looks done. Thank you.
She says you're dripping.
I'm dripping. Right. Oh, by the way, you guys got me some stickers for my laptop, and one says "Okay, Boomer."
Yeah.
So I've actually put that on the front.
You should bring that on the next live show.
I've actually put it on the front of my, as you know, much like you, I've got stickers on my cover, and it's right on the front cover now of under all my other stickers that says "Okay, Boomer."
Yeah.
It was my favorite. And then you guys got us one as well where it has Instagram and it says the White Hatter, and it's for the car, on the car decal. And so I put it on the back of our car right now. Apparently,
I have one too.
You got one on your car now?
I haven't put it on the car yet.
So you know what I did? As I put the Instagram decal on there, and then just above it, I put the big. The sticker, the White Hatter sticker that you have on the front of your computer screen, that big or on your computer laptop.
Yeah.
I put the big one just above that. Looks pretty cool, actually. Looks pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Ronaldo. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone.
Big shout out to everybody in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's talk about some updates.
Candace says we got to do that more often. We got to be giving out more shout outs to those people who are joining us in the chat, right?
Yeah.
So, because they're the ones that make this show.
resolution goes.
Yeah. And don't forget about the giveaway at the end of the presentation.
It is a giveaway show, and we'll talk about that.
So make sure you stand by, right? Yeah, for sure.
Some updates. So,
some updates.
Part of the giveaway this month was asking all of you what you all got this year for your holidays and Christmas. What tech gifts?
So specifically tech.
Yeah, so we asked everyone on Instagram. Now this is Instagram and Facebook combined.
That's right.
The giveaway is only for Instagram, but we asked you all, what tech gifts did you get this year? Yeah. And we got a lot
look at
of
the little heart. Do you see that little heart there?
Yeah, a little tech heart.
That's a little tech
circuit board heart.
That's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we asked all of you, and we had some really good topics came up.
It's interesting topics because I thought the gifts that they got would be ranked a little differently, right? But it's kind of surprising what we saw this year, and I want to drill down a little bit more as the reason why. So what do we got?
We had about 125 people respond to our survey on Instagram and Facebook, and here's some results. So Apple AirPods or wireless earbuds or headphones. That was about 21 people have responded to us saying they got those. We had about just under 15 or so people say they got Bluetooth speakers or other miscellaneous kind of music devices. We had just about over 10, 11-ish people talk about how they got Apple smartwatches or a Fitbit or another smart wearable device. And we had about, we had more people say another IoT device.
Now, what's interesting to me on this is it seems like this Christmas, the big tech gift under the tree was more about accessories for existing technology. So we didn't, although we saw some people say they got like a new phone or a new computer, that was rare, right?
Well, yeah, I've seen some reports in the last year that phone sales in 2019 have declined.
This kind of confirms that to a degree, right? Like it appears. And when you think about it, technology, like this is an iPhone XS Max, right? And I know that they
I have
came
an
out,
8 Plus.
right? And really, this is no different, other than the camera and a little bit of speed that you don't really notice for basic users. It's really no different than the new iPhone 11, right?
Yeah, a lot of.
And what's yours?
Mine's 8 Plus.
And really,
again, it's the same kind of thing. A lot of tech experts are saying we've kind of like reached the peak so far in terms of cell phones. Right now, the newest development is foldable smartphones. That's the newest development. But in terms of the actual hardware and devices, we've kind of like reached a stage.
Pinnacle.
Yeah.
We've reached it'll never be the pinnacle. There'll always be some changes like that folding ones that we see going on now. But to me, this was really interesting because I expected to see more things like maybe some more watches or some more phones or gaming consoles and that kind of stuff. Not really. What we really saw, we'll drill down a little bit deeper,
Well,
right?
let us know in the chat what you got. We'd love to hear what you guys got. If
What
you
else?
haven't already responded.
Yeah, what else do we got?
So then we have some lesser responses, and this kind of falls into what Darren was talking about. So we had some smartphones. About 9 people said they got smartphones.
Interesting.
Less people said they got laptops. A good decent amount of people said they got other gaming equipment. Could be headsets, games.
So again,
or
accessories.
Accessories,
like controllers and that kind of stuff.
And then even less people said they got gaming consoles.
So again, I mean, this kind of reflects the fact of what you said. You know, I don't think this Christmas it was all about new phones or new laptops per se. It was about new accessories for the existing tech that they have.
Now, yeah. Makes sense.
Right? It was a real surprise to me, to be quite honest, right? Like I thought I'd see more phones and more laptops, but really we saw more things about accessories.
Yeah, for people who already have phones. So that doesn't necessarily mean that people didn't get phones, because people who would have responded to the survey and this was the first phone may not have responded to the survey because it didn't have Instagram.
Right, but it's interesting, right?
Yeah,
it really is interesting.
Yeah.
And we had some honorable mentions, right, in the in what it is that we did here. So which is kind
Graphic says I got a blue snowball ice for my YouTube videos and gaming in general. Fantastic.
Is that the light?
No. It's like this, but it's like a circle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a microphone.
It's a microphone.
Yeah.
There was somebody who replied back that they actually got one of the circular lights so that they could do videos, right?
Yeah.
Where the phone goes.
Yeah, they call it ring light.
Ring light.
Can't say
Yeah,
my
ring
ear.
light. Yeah.
Yeah, ring light.
Rolando said, "Oh, I got a watch." Right?
Hey.
Again, we're not saying that those didn't happen. Candace got one too. She got the new.
She showed it off on the Instagram
Yeah,
Live.
she did. She got an Apple 5, right? Apple Watch 5.
Series 5, yeah.
Series 5,
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, right? But it again, we're not saying that didn't happen, but it wasn't at the frequency that we saw, say, last year or the year before that. Like last year and the year before that, we saw a lot more watches and phones and gaming consoles, PCs. This year, not so much. It was more about consoles, right?
So interesting trends Candace kind of picked out because she collected all this data. Oh, Life Potterhead says, I didn't get many gifts because I'm moving homes right now.
You know, but that's something else that wasn't uncommon in some of the replies, because I kind of looked at them as well. It wasn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, Candace, we had a couple of teens saying like they got no tech this year. Yeah, they got clothing and that kind of stuff, not a lot of tech. The other thing that was cool was that there were a couple of students or teens that said they actually got old school record players, turntables with actual vinyl records and stuff, right? And we were actually shopping on Boxing Day. We went into this place called Market Square here in Victoria, and they had an old-time turntable going with a vinyl record going on it. And the person working in there was probably around 19, 20, and she said, yeah, a lot of her friends, the same thing. Rather than getting new tech, they got old tech, which was they were asking for turntables and vinyl, right? So kind of retro thing.
Ronaldo says I got a watch and a PS4 controller.
Yeah, so a controller, so that's kind of an accessory, right?
Taki says I got a gaming PC.
Okay,
oh, that's
not saying that didn't happen. We saw some of those, but not to the same degree, right?
Kind of cool.
Kind of cool. So some of the other cool gifts and trends, projectors. These are the ones that Canada was saying that you can see them. They're about this big, and you can put them in your bedroom and project up onto your wall, right? Or on your ceiling.
Yeah, Candace and I are kind of talking about getting one.
They're like a Piccolo or something like that, right?
Well, why watch Netflix on your phone when you can just broadcast on the ceiling?
Oh, yeah. Right? Oh, I never thought about that.
It's like a TV, but on the ceiling without actually mounting a TV because there's a light.
Yeah, I mean, they're not very bright unless the light is off in the bedroom,
kind of
stuff, right? Kind of thing.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
LED light strips for around ceiling rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Very popular with YouTubers and TikTokers.
You actually did that in your kitchen, right? In your kitchen, don't you?
It's not in the ceiling. It's along the oven
countertops. Yeah, kind of cool, right?
One of the trends is people put it like in the corner of bedrooms. For like accent lighting.
Tacky Auger says, "Hey, I'm getting a projector instead of a TV." Makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
Because the projector, you can take it with you as well, right? Like if you're going on the road, staying in a hotel, or going to a friend's place, or something like that. As long as you have power. Are they battery powered or plugged in, or both?
I've yet to see any battery powered projectors because they draw a lot of power.
Oh, so they would have to have
they're usually all plugged in.
Okay.
Life Potter says, I want a MacBook so I can play Minecraft on it.
I got a MacBook. You got a MacBook. Yeah. What else did we see in the? So we saw LED strips. What else?
A lot of people said they got a Bluetooth toque.
Yeah.
Or a Bluetooth beanie. And when Candace and I first saw that, we were a little confused. Like
really? I knew what it was right away.
Is this a typo?
No.
What is a Bluetooth toque?
It's a toque with a Bluetooth built right into it. It's got little. It's got little speakers built into it as well.
Yeah, I had no idea that existed. No idea.
Yeah, kind of cool. Again, accessories, right?
Yeah.
These are all accessories.
People said they got drones, which is expected as drone prices have dropped.
Okay, hold on. What's the law regarding drones here in Canada?
I think it's 170. Don't quote me on that, but it's like 170 grams.
Yeah.
But DJI has a drone that's 1 gram under legal limit.
And you're not allowed to fly them near airports or protected airspace and that kind of stuff. So you also have to around the city and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So you need to know the laws regarding that.
Now, in terms of getting licensing, it's a weight limit.
Have you seen the drones now where they use VR, where you can put on the VR goggles and it's got a camera in the front of it, so as you're flying your drone, you can actually see what's going on. Those are kind of cool.
And a couple people said they got some dash cams.
Oh,
not very many, but kind of interesting.
Yeah, I remember one team that said, I'll be honest with you, I kind of wanted one this year. I wanted one for my car. We do so much traveling right now that having it, especially when you're traveling into the U.S. and that kind of stuff, it's kind of nice to have a dash cam on there, because if you get in an accident and it's not your fault, you've got video evidence, right? So, and I just thought, from a traveling standpoint, because we do so much traveling, it would be a great idea. So
makes sense.
Just trying to find one that is easy to install so that there's not wires everywhere, right? That's the big one.
Yeah.
So we got a couple. Rolando, I'm playing Minecraft right now. There's a really good example how Generation Zs, they can multitask. It's like you. I've seen you times where you can play a game, work your iPhone, iPod, watch TV, and do other things at the same time, right? Candace doesn't think you can multitask. Candace is going, well, he never multitasks with me. It's true. She says that's true.
Tacky says, I have a DJI Phantom, and it's quite hard to fly without the certification.
Oh, that's the big one, right?
It's the bigger one.
It's the big one
It's like the first one.
Where there's like a gimbal on the bottom of it, where you can put in a camera and that kind of stuff, like a 35mm camera. Hey, Tacky, how old are you? Like that's a pretty big unit, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see the replies from the teens this year, how the big tech wasn't big tech, it was accessory tech, right? So it wasn't so much about the phones, the PCs, although some teens got those, right? 13? Holy crow. Although those things, some students or teens got those, the bigger takes this Christmas were definitely the accessories. I didn't see a lot of. Remember last year how the Alexas were big. The HomePods, they were huge, right? Didn't see so many this year. There were a couple, but they weren't so big this year, which was really kind of interesting.
Grazix, wait, if you're born in 2005, are you considered Gen Z? Yes, between 1996 and 2010 is Gen Z.
No, there you go. Generally. Loosey-goosey. Cool. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? It was really kind of interesting. And as this decade, because really it's an end of a decade, right? Because we're going into 2020, so really we ended a decade.
Yeah.
we were being a little reflective as a company, right, about what we've done over the past decade, the past 10 years. And really, it's been about 10 years since we started teaching in the internet and safety and you know, digital literacy and all that kind of stuff. And really going hard for the past probably 6 to 7 years. But, you know, being a little reflective, it's kind of cool. How many students have we now presented to? Because you were a real stickler for this, because there's a lot of people out there that's...
478,000.
And this is really important because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that say that they teach 500,000 or 1 million people, but yet they didn't collect it. You were a real stickler on this. Like, we collected hard numbers, right?
I make sure when we collect these numbers, like, we count every single head.
Yeah, you know what? In 478,000 teens from across Canada and the United States, I know that between now and June 1st, we have over 100 presentations booked, over 100. I think we're at 110 now between you and I, and then also Cal and Jennifer and a couple of the other White Hatter team members combined. But we're going to hit 500,000.
Yeah.
We will hit 500,000 students before the end of this school year. I have no doubt about it. And that's a pretty big accomplishment for a small company like us, right? Like, and here's to making 1 million, right? Only another 500,000 to go. That'd be kind of cool. And not only have we presented over 478,000 teens, but we've now also been involved in how many interventions, Brandon?
204.
204 interventions where young people have connected with us because they are a friend that they were dealing with, were reaching out for help because of suicidal ideation, self-harming, so other issues. And of that 204, one of them was actually a teacher, an adult, who reached out to us because they were considering suicide as an option as well, heard our message, reached out to us for help, and we were able to get them the help that they needed. Cream cheese. Okay, boomer. That's my sticker that I have on my new computer and that kind of stuff.
Grazik says, I'm going to miss the teens. 2020 sounds weird.
I'm going to miss the teens. Like, as in 19, 18, right? Like 2019.
It's going to be 2021.
Yeah, 2022. Because I'm thinking, how are you going to miss the teens? I mean, they're still going to be around, right? So I get it. Okay, boomer. You know, okay, boomer. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, 2020 sounds good or sounds weird. Yeah, but oh boy, it's going to be so cool. To where we're going to be going. I mean, just look at the iPhone is only what, 12 years old, roughly.
2008.
Yeah, I mean it's not that old when you think about it. So if you look at where we've come in the past 12 years with tech, where we're going to go in the next 12 years, the next 10 years until we reach 2030. It'll be really interesting to see the changes that take place, right? I think it's going to be really cool to see what's going on in the tech world and how tech is now becoming an everyday part of our lives, right? So like it or not, it's here to stay. We're not going to be able to change that, and we need to accept that, especially us older individuals. And I think the other thing for the parents who are watching us this year, I think one of our New Year's resolutions should be we older adults need to start acknowledging the fact that most of these Generation Zs and Millennials are doing some super uber cool stuff online. They really are, right? And we as older adults, we need to start acknowledging that fact. But more importantly, we need to start mentoring and shepherding our kids through this tech world. But the only way for us to do that is to become involved ourselves. And if I can do it, you can do it, right? So that should be a New Year's resolution, I think, for parents, is to get more involved in what it is that their kids are doing online, right? Stop helicopter parenting them. I think that's going to be an important, allow them to kind of grow, but as parents, we need to start mentoring and acknowledging, and in order to do that, we need to know the technology as well. So, Tiny Aquatic Dino thing. Is that an actual handle,
yeah,
Candace?
That is.
Holy moly. Yeah. I'm graduating in 2020, very scared. You know what? Don't be scared. I mean, it's the world is your oyster, right? It really is, and you can make a decision about what you want to do. So, I mean, I get it's a little scary to leave high school because you're leaving a group of friends that you've basically been with for your entire life at that point in time. But you know what? You're moving on to bigger and better things, so things to look forward to for sure. But I acknowledge the fact that, yeah, it can be scary, no doubt about it, but there's some really cool opportunity to take place as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got going?
Let's talk about some news events.
So
one thing you put up it's a pretty slow news week, holidays, that type of stuff. A couple of things came up in the news this week. Victoria Police put out just a warning about a virtual kidnapping.
Yeah, my old department.
You added this to
my old department. They're primarily concentrating on students that are in Canada or the US on student visas from China.
Right.
And what they're doing is they're setting them up to do things online where they're getting them to fake an actual abduction, where they're being abducted, and then they'll tell the students go to a hotel for a week. And then what they're doing is they're taking that video and they're sending it to their parents in China saying, hey, listen, if you don't pay this ransom, whatever that ransom is, you're never going to see your son or daughter again, right? So it's a total, it's fake. It's not happening and that kind of stuff, but it looks really, really, really real. So I think the big thing here to understand is that these types of crimes are still continuing, right? Police departments are seeing it right across Canada, especially here on the West Coast, say in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, here in Victoria, for sure. But there's no police department or any kind of federal agency that would ever ask a teen to do that. So just be aware of that, and maybe also let your parents know if you're here from China or Japan or another East Asian type country, let your parents know that if they get a message like this, it's probably going to be fake, right? So again, education, knowledge, and the understanding and application of that knowledge is power. Yeah. So just to be hyper aware of that, especially for those teens that are watching us who are from an Asian country, right? Yeah. So, yeah. What else?
Something else you added to the list this week was Washington Post did examination on smart cars, particularly Chevy in this case.
Yeah, it was a university that actually decided to take the Chevy Volt, right, the new electric battery-operated car, take it apart, and they really wanted to see what was going on with the computer system in it and see what it was capturing. Now, this isn't anything new to a degree, right? Like those in law enforcement who are involved in accident reconstruction, or what we call ACI investigators, whenever they went to a major accident, most modern cars today have a little black box that's in the vehicle that investigators can plug into, and it's basically you're plugging right in the inboard computer in all these vehicles, and it'll tell them what speed was the car going, what was the speed on impact, was there braking, what was the signaling, were they wearing their seat belts. So there's a lot of information being collected that can be used. But what this university found was that now with the addition of being able to sync into your cell phones, it was also downloading a lot of the information that was on your cell phones, right? And without disclosing that fact to the drivers of vehicles, right? So you plug in your cell phone, which a lot of people will do, right? Especially in rental cars. And as you're doing that, the onboard computer system will be downloading a lot of the information that is on your phone, and then we're taking that information and selling it to third parties, right? And they weren't disclosing that fact. And not only that, but they were also figuring out, even if you don't connect your phone, most modern cars now have a built-in Wi-Fi into it. So a good example, we have a Ford product. They use the sync, but the Ford sync in the vehicle is constantly connected to the internet using Wi-Fi, and it sends information about our vehicle.
Wi-Fi or cellular?
Or I think both. I'm not quite sure, to be quite honest, but I know that they continually connect, and it's sending information about our car all the time. And one of the things that this university found was that it was also tracking GPS in the car, so they could figure out where you were going in that kind of those issues, right? So again, with convenience comes vulnerability. Now the question should be, should these manufacturers, Ford, Chevy, whoever it is, should they be disclosing the fact that their onboard computer systems are collecting this type of data, and what are they doing with that data, right? And not only are what kind of data are they collecting with the inboard computer, but what if you connect with your phone? And do they have you an option? I know some cards we've gone into where it says right in there, would you like to sync with your phone? And I always hit no. But the question is, even if you hit no, how do you know it's not being synced? Right? So it's interesting to see what's going on with technology and how privacy, we've been saying this for at least 2 years now, privacy is becoming a real issue, right? So things to think about when it comes to vehicles and what kind of information is available in those vehicles to the corporate entities, the vendors that sell us those vehicles, and what are they doing with that data, right? Things to think about. Tiny aquatic dino thing. Did you just call me a clam?
Did you?
No.
I don't think you did.
Really?
I don't remember. Did
I'm a dino, sir. Okay, sorry. If I called you a clam? No, I don't think. Maybe I did. I'm a boomer, right? I don't remember things. Anyways, next.
TikTok lawsuits show need for increased scrutiny on apps. So again, people are mostly parents are a little angry that TikTok had violated privacy law in the United States, and they're going to make a lawsuit to go, hey, you know what? You collected people's data who are under the age of 13, so pay up.
Yeah. And we're starting to see more issues with TikTok. Again, why? Because it's becoming extremely popular, if not one of the most downloaded apps right now being used. We have a TikTok page, right? We have a TikTok page.
1,200 followers
Not
now.
something that I would recommend for those under the age of 15. My opinion. Even if you set it to private and that kind of stuff, it doesn't stop users from still being able to see what's going on, right? And stuff. But
it's no different than Instagram or Facebook.
It is. Yeah. Is it though?
Why?
Well,
why is it different?
Well, because you're seeing a lot of different stuff. Are you seeing the same things in Facebook that we're seeing on TikTok? I am not.
It depends on your algorithm and how you're being filtered.
I guess. But would you recommend somebody who's 13 going on TikTok?
That's the legal age they can.
I know,
in the United States.
But if you were a parent, would you recommend a young person go on TikTok? See, I think 15. I think 15. And just because of some of the extremely suggestive things that we're seeing on TikTok.
I suggest things all the time on Instagram.
Do you?
Yeah.
Candace and Brandon
and
just said I
Snapchat.
need to. Interesting, right? Like, it's the internet, unfortunately. Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter where you go. You can see.
I guess we do say it's not the app; it's how kids use the app or how adults use the app. And in fact, I would suggest to you that adults are probably doing far more questionable stuff on these apps and social media than the kids are, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? As an adult, as a boomer. But the other thing that's interesting with TikTok right now is the U.S. government has now just said, hey, listen, anybody who works in government down in the United States, they're no longer can they use TikTok in any of the government issued phones. Why? Because TikTok is owned by China.
Well,
a company in China.
I think the company's actively moving away from that. So
Not yet, though. And then the question will be, if they do move away from them, will there still be a portal attaching them? So let's say they move from China into the United States. If it's still owned by a company in China, you'd be fooling yourself to think that they're not going to have the ability to get data from there. But
I don't know Chinese spies don't have backdoors into Facebook.
Oh, we don't. Or that's the issue, right? But that's the issue. But I mean, the big thing, but because it's Chinese owned, we kind of mentioned this on the last show where we said, I think people of your generation, millennials and Generation Zs, they're going to find it much, much tougher to get involved in jobs like the CIA, FBI, CSIS, where you have to do covert operations because of social media technology, right? Because your face is being captured on all this stuff. And China, as we know, is their facial recognition, they're using it all over the place right now. So let's say you've done a TikTok, it's owned by a Chinese company, they use an algorithm to identify your face. So all of a sudden you were a millennial or Generation Z who's done a bunch of TikToks and now you're working with CSIS or the CIA in the United States. You're being transferred over into China to do covert operations, and all of a sudden you say, hey, yeah, my name is Steve Smith, and all of a sudden their algorithm, because you shot a video, says, no, you're not, you're Brandon Lohr.
Don't you think there'll be technology to help modify people's faces to counteract that?
We'll see. We'll see. But there isn't right now.
That we know of.
But there isn't right now. And so the issue, though, is that that's
prosthetics.
Yeah, how many are using it? Come on, let's be honest, right? Like, let's be honest.
Didn't you watch that
I did.
that wonderful Wired? It was from Wired,
I did.
That did that.
Right? Or these glasses that are out now that have an LED light on it, right? So that camera's...
No, I'm talking about covert operators.
Oh, yeah. I saw those. But a lot of people who are landing in country won't do that, right? Like, come on, right? Like,
I don't know.
I did undercover... How about policing? Undercover operations and policing.
But don't you think there'll be technology that will be developed to help it make it easier?
Maybe one day, but it's not here now. And here's the issue.
Come on.
Well,
come on.
I can speak from a policing perspective, right? Like,
okay, from a boots on the ground law enforcement. I'm talking about like high level CIA stuff.
Yeah, but what about high level organized crime stuff that law enforcement is involved in, right? Like, that's the issue. The issue is, like, if I'm trying to infiltrate the Hells Angels is a good example, and my face was all over TikTok, and facial recognition is now being used, boof, all of a sudden you say you're Michael Smith. No, you're not. You're Brandon Lohr. Like, well, no, you're not. You're not who you say you are.
Yeah, but do criminal organizations have the
Yes, they do.
The vast resources.
They do. They have more money than cops do.
Okay, fine. They have more money.
God. Yeah, come on. Even Candace is saying, wake up, Brandon.
But if they're purchasing advanced artificial detection software, that means there's a trail, which means the organization who sells it could be given a production order to release the data.
Oh, bloody academics. The academics in this world, they just don't use common thought sometimes, right? But here, not that one Candace just said. That's funny, Candace. But here's the issue. The issue right now is that these are things we never thought about, right? And that's what's kind of cool about technology. We don't know where technology is going, so things we do today can come back later on, and we never think about this stuff. And from a safety and security standpoint, with regards to what's going on with video now and facial identification, it's becoming an issue from a security standpoint. And that's why I think, I mean, before you become an undercover operator now in policing, they do a full background check on you, both online and offline, right? To see what kind of a digital footprint do you have that could compromise your position. And I just think in today's world, it's going to be harder and harder.
Prosthetics.
Yeah, prosthetics.
3D printing. Oh, 3D printing and prosthetics.
Okay, you're watching too much TV.
No!
Yes, you are. Yeah,
no, I'm not.
Yeah, I know. Well, you just made fun of me, Candace. That's not very funny, right?
Anyways. Tiny Iconic Dino.
The spy who shagged me.
Who says, what are your thoughts on COPA? I mean, makes sense. Make sure you don't collect data on people under the age of 13. I do believe what they're doing with YouTube is probably a little extreme, but we'll see how it works. I mean, Grazik says, I really like that people from FTC are actually meeting with YouTubers to get their opinions. Yeah.
They do that all the time, but they don't really.
It doesn't really mean anything.
Doesn't really mean. It's just another check in the box, right?
Tiny Clock Dino says they gave YouTube a choice to make a mixed content button, and YouTube chose not to. YouTube's a company, and they have their own private interests involved.
Yeah, for sure.
So they will do what's best for their company.
Hey, maybe we can start one. We'll call it White Hatter Tube. Right? We'll start our own like YouTube. We'll just call it. We'll call it White Hatter TWH Tube.
I don't like the.
No? Or just call it Tube.
Tube.
There used to be a music group in my generation called the Tubes.
Candace, is that a thing?
It is. Look it up. The Tubes. Tubes. The Tubes. Okay, what else we got going on?
Amazon Ring's back in the news again, a favorite. Ring says they got slammed with lawsuits claiming the company failed to secure camera against hackers. So you may have seen over the last month or so, news reports are flying around that hackers were hacking into these smart cameras to spy on people, to mess with people, to say messages to people. Amazon Ring came back and said, you know what? It's actually because these users had really bad passwords and hackers were able to guess it. And they got access.
Yeah, you know, I don't think the suit's going to go anywhere.
Probably
I really don't. I mean, it's the responsibility of the person who purchases the product to make sure that you use a good password, right? And a good secure password, which I would suggest that the person who had their system hacked had a password that was easily
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I mean,
you got hacked.
Yeah, exactly, right? So sometimes these people who are doing this, they need to look in the mirror and go, do I have a part to play in what's happened here?
Now, they also said in the suit that Amazon Ring did not have
two-factor authentication.
Forward-thinking security practices in place.
Okay,
two-factor authentication.
They do have I mean, and we've said this before, where a lot of these new startups, they don't start with privacy and security at the foundation, right? They don't. And so this is something, but you know, I think in this case, these people who've had their rings hacked primarily was because they were using an extremely poor password.
That's what Ring said. We'll see what happens in the lawsuit and see how it all rolls out.
There's open source products out there now that will help you guess passwords if you're using poor ones within a matter of milliseconds, right? So I mean, come on, people. I mean, how many times have we been saying, make sure you pick a good password that's at least six digits, letters, combining of letters, numbers, symbols. I mean, we've been
every password's unique.
Exactly, so that you're not using the same password. I'm guilty of that sometimes, but I'm getting better. I am getting much better, right? Boomers. Okay, boomer. And one of the ways to do that is to get a password locker, right? Yeah. And the one that we recommend is LastPass.
We use LastPass,
right? Is to do that stuff.
Cool.
Apple has its own as well,
yep.
Extremely secure and stuff, so that each network or each social media, whatever you're using that's connecting to the internet, has its own unique password that is at least 6 digits in length, symbols, letters, upper, lower case, very important.
Yeah,
very important.
Hey, it's giveaway time.
Really?
Giveaway time. This
Can you show that again? Every show I do that.
There you go.
You know, I watched this zombie movie not too long ago where one of the defenses to zombies was shooting up fireworks into the sky. And the zombies would just go,
They're Dave. That's you. That's you.
right? So that's every time I see that, that's what happens to me. Just saying.
So
I'm a digital zombie.
This is the last show of this month of the decade.
The millennium.
And therefore, we do a giveaway at the last show every month.
Yes, we do.
So again, we asked you what tech gifts you got. We had entries from Instagram, and we have a lot of responses.
We do.
People really did like to share what they got. So we're gonna pull a name, and what you get is 2 large White Hatter stickers, which you can only get on the show, some pens, small stickers, and wristbands. Those are the things that we do giveaways for. So we're gonna pull a name of the hat.
Drum roll.
All right.
The winner is.
The winner is from a smooth vanilla bean.
Ooh.
Bluetooth docks to stick on things I lose a lot, like keys.
Hey, that's a cool answer. Cool answer. And Kansas has said that that user is a regular. A regular. Yeah, regular on the show, right?
Fantastic. So a smooth vanilla bean. I like the name. Smooth. We're gonna send you a message on Instagram to send you the swag.
In fact, that's what I put into my coffee, vanilla bean. I do, and it tastes very smooth. It makes it very smooth, yeah, for sure.
So thank you everyone who joined the draw for this month. Thank you everyone who in the chat for chatting away. We really appreciate your input on the subjects we talked about.
And we've reached over 500 followers now.
Subscribers.
Subscribers, sorry.
On YouTube.
Yeah, here's hoping for the next year we get up to 1,000.
Hopefully more than that.
Yeah,
we're planning new year. We're going to do some changes. We're going to figure out when we're going to do that. We're going to hopefully bring Candace more involved. Because I know you all love that, and she loves that too.
That'll be interesting to see how that
So we're going to figure a couple things.
Yeah, sure.
But until then, we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Next decade.
Remember, YouTube is all about you, and we want to thank those of you over this past year who have created a following for us, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So on behalf of myself, who's Darren?
And Brandon and Candace in the back, who hopefully in the new year, you'll see her more on screen.
And Beth, who is kind of watching and viewing this inside the house, because if it wasn't for her, we'd all be lost, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So
Sure.
From the end of 2019, looking forward to the new decade ahead of us. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.